Yeah, Mixaplex said that was my expression the whole show. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm actually just about to talk about Ahsoka episode 3. I watched today on my phone, like David Lynch loves. You thought you saw the
That
movie,
would
but
be a
you
good
didn't
clip to
fucking
show
see it.
of him
Yeah,
talking about people watching movies on their phones.
yeah. Yeah, I could probably pull it up for a little bit because it's just fucking hilarious.
Also, there's a good clip of
Total
him
weirdo.
talking about Naomi Watts for Mulholland Drive, in that he like fell in love with her. What's the like photo you give?
Oh, the
You
headshot.
headshot, yeah. And then when she came came to casting, he was like really disappointed in how she actually looked. And he said it like with her right there next to her, like next to him.
Oh, well, come on.
But it
Now,
wasn't
if
like
you're
awkward or
playing
anything. It was funny.
the movie on a telephone, you will never in a trillion years experience the film. You'll think you have experienced it, but you'll be cheated. It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
Yeah, it's a great iPhone commercial. I remember when that came out. This is like from years ago. Jesus.
Him and Werner Herzog have this like element to when they talk. Everything just feels funny unintentionally.
Well, it's funny.
It's
Werner
like they're
Herzog, I
trolling.
think that was. I
We gotta
think
make some clips of him in there too. We need some Werner Herzog soundbites and clips thrown in.
One of the main reasons I think The Mandalorian worked initially was because of Werner Herzog's feedback. You know, like he gave them all this feedback, like, why are you doing this? It's like, I kind of think he was a big part of why it was worked. He even said they wanted to make the Baby Yoda CG. He said, you have this fucking puppet. That's awesome. He's like, you're a fucking coward if you don't. He called Favreau a coward if you don't use the puppet. Like, he was right. I mean, that's what kind of worked the best. And I don't know, the first season had also a mystique to it as well. It was way better than what they're doing now. Now it's just been like a trash show. The Dave Filoni trash show. But yeah, I saw the first episode or the third episode. I've seen all these episodes now. Jesus. It's I don't know. It's a watchable show. It's not like unwatchable. It's okay. It's nothing I like really like or anything, but it's watchable. Here's the trailer.
On the Rings of Power scale.
Oh God, Rings of Power is unwatchable. I would say. You know, like if I'm gonna put them out of 10,
to me,
I put like Rings of Power,
like the I don't know what you call it, the like floor. You know that is like the
it's like 0 or 1 out of 10 kind of thing. I'd say this is like a 6. It's like, you know, like 5 and below, I would be like, obviously, don't watch it. 6 is like it's just there. That's my rating for it. It's just there and able to like watch. It's not super enjoyable. Like some of it is. I mean,
without feeling like you're being waterboarded.
Yeah, it's not like that.
I found the new Sith location, but I don't know how to beat him.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
You and I both know who could help you with this. She's still just as stubborn as ever. Our enemies are multiplying. Galaxy is not safe.
What happens when you try and throw him?
Power. Such as you'd never dream.
You never made things easy for me, Master. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
Got all these little references to better stuff. That's another thing. It's like I went through this episode and I was like going through the stuff that they took, and it's just crazy. Like, first off, that Hera, Elizabeth Winstead, like that makeup looks terrible. It just looks like I don't know. I just can't get over it. It just looks like cosplay. Like
It
it's
feels
just
like it's like mumblecore mixed with Star Wars.
I don't know if it's that.
Mark Duplass might as well be directing this shit.
I don't know. You know, maybe he'd do something better. I don't know. Maybe it'd be more like character focused, which could be better. It's like I think that's like what they don't realize. It's like it's not interesting unless you have a character you care about. Everyone's so flat. Like,
Yeah, that's the Rings
give
of
me a
Power effect.
yeah, that's pretty flat. The story is flat in that. Like, I mean,
I wonder
yeah,
if
no,
it's
there's not any
intentional.
good performances. You know, like I feel like there's not a lot of gravitas in Star Wars. Yeah, the show's fucking the whole show is horrible. Have I seen Andor? I have seen Andor. I didn't really like it. I thought that was a little boring. It was okay. I don't think it felt like Star Wars. It felt like something else. I don't like Rogue One, so I like didn't give a shit about Andor. It's like that was also like I really don't like Rogue One. I never liked it.
Makes a
You know,
push.
like
What kind of good stuff are you watching lately?
I don't know if there is anything good right now. But don't you think she looks like cosplay? Like this character looks like a cosplay thing here. Everything looks like too clean. And even he's you guys. Yeah, we're the ones to watch. Yeah, it's better than fucking Ahsoka.
Well, we don't have that level of content.
Well, not yet until Disney buys out us. They bought us out.
Fuck
I would
them
take it.
buying us out. We just gotta cash that stock out at the right time before they.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Is like once they're done
Oh.
tanking all their shit, how much longer are they gonna try and do good stuff before they go back to just making horrible shit again?
I don't know, man. But speaking of this look here with this makeup, I was thinking about Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, she had like
For
green
Halloween,
skin.
that's what you're gonna dress up as.
No, but I was just thinking how like her makeup looked pretty good and believable. Like this looks like fake. It's hard to explain. It's like too bright. It doesn't look like real. It's like it's been done it's been done well before is what I guess I'm trying to say. Like, but not in here. Not in here. Also
Yeah, what was the most
takeaways.
racist Halloween costume you've ever did?
Probably a pirate, right? They pillaged the Caribbean, raping and pillaging and you know.
I did
Or I don't
I did a
what's not
Ben's ghost
offensive
where I
about
had like just a bed sheet, but then somebody like had a sombrero at their house, so I put the sombrero on the ghost.
it. That is pretty good. That's pretty good. Mixbook says if you guys get bought out, I'm guessing you'll be swapped out for hosts that reflect modern audiences. Yeah, probably like let's think, maybe like we'd have to be
We'll be
we'd have to get
replaced
race swapped.
by women. Probably we'll be either like 2 black women or 2 trans black women, and
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
they'll definitely have different opinions on most of what we're talking about, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd probably exact opposite of what we're talking about. Stuff I did like the music in this. I think there's actually good music in the show. That's like I'm gonna give it a compliment there. There's good music. There's a good score. There's a part where there's a training scene, and it really did have this like Asian vibe. You know, like in a Hero where there's that little string instrument.
Yeah, I don't know, I forget the name of it, but I love that sequence. I've actually watched. I
Yeah.
have like a bunch of videos on like a YouTube playlist where it's like ASMR and ambient stuff, and I have a bunch of videos of people playing that, and they grow their fingernails out really long and pluck it. It's pretty weird looking.
Yeah, what's it called? Gu Quinn. It's called Gu Quinn.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's
I don't
fucking
know if
awesome
that's
that
the
scene.
exact
That scene's
pronunciation,
awesome.
but you're close enough to where I
Yeah,
know
go
what you're talking
watch
about.
like the battle in Hero where the rain's going and that guy's playing the Q Gwyn or
And
whatever.
he's like
And
he's like jumping on
awesome.
the sword because everyone's really light.
Yeah, I love that fucking movie, especially even like where they're like that guy like oh, that's Donnie Yen too. Donnie Yen's awesome, but like especially where he's like screaming, he's like yeah, and then it's all like slow mode and
Yeah,
reverbed and like it looks awesome. The whole sequence looks it was like way ahead of its time. Like
I like the part
like
where the entire army is bombing the calligraphy school with arrows. It's really fucked up. They're just like it's almost like it's like genocide. They're like wiping out the entire group of like I guess I don't know what I guess they're not really like writing anything though. They just because they do it in the sand, so it's not really on paper. But
Yeah.
they just want to like annihilate their
that's cool.
history and written word and stuff.
Oh yeah, Mixplex saying, I understand you're not into the story of Andor, but it was good to see competent writing for something Star Wars. It is true.
What's
I mean, I did
Andor?
notice that. It's another Star Wars TV show. It is probably up
Who
there with
stars
their
in
best.
that?
I think his name is Diego Luna. That's the main character from
the
Rogue
guy
One.
from The Last of Us.
No, that's Pedro Pascal, but they look very similar.
Oh no,
there is
Diego Luna was
there
in
is a similarity
he
there.
was in the one with the British girl who
Yes,
the plans for the fucking
Rogue One. It's a prequel. It's a prequel to Rogue One. This whole TV show.
Okay, so Andor's connected to that.
Yes, and I mean, I'll say this: the vibe is more serious, so it's kind of different. And you know what? They also do a big There's definitely some Blade Runner vibes, like especially the opening. I remember like the opening episode. He's on some like futuristic city where it's raining, so you're already thinking like Blade Runner, and like he's in kind of like a strip club thing. So it's like it has some grime of Blade Runner that was cool. It's definitely a little darker.
Shit that we're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
It kind of opens up with him. He's in some strip club, and then these like Empire guys fuck with him, and then he outside of the club he like kills them, and he's got to be on the run because now he just killed 2 like Imperial officers. So like that's sort of where the story starts off there. But it's a pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's not. It's again. It's not. It's definitely watchable. Like things that weren't that watchable were like Boba Fett like series was pretty bad. The last Mandalorian season was also really bad. Season 3 sucked. It was really bad. Season 2 was like okay, but it was just like cameo fest.
Like there's like 3 different fucking Star Wars shows going at the same fucking time,
and they're all kind of Andor at least was its own
so
solid thing.
I don't know how.
Yeah, and there was and then Obi-Wan.
Shit.
There was an Obi-Wan show too, and that was awful. So it's like there's been Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Boba Fett show, Ahsoka, and Andor, and at least Andor was like separate.
Yeah,
all the other ones,
they're gonna milk every fucking
they're milking
secondary character with a fucking goddamn pulse they can.
Oh, dude, that's what Star Wars is. I mean, I've heard Red Letter Media talk about it. It's like they don't have much to go off of. It's like they don't. It's not Star Trek.
The universe and we let shit around for a couple seasons.
The bench is not deep with Star Wars. Yeah, that's like you have to realize there is not much there. So it's like that's what I think that's what you're seeing. They're just forcing in every there should be a new story. Tell a new story, and I think that's what was nice about. I mean, I know this connects to it,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's they. We're talking. This has been
put it into Chat GP, whatever the fuck, new Star Wars series, and then it'll spit out some bullshit.
I mean, that's like this is kind of stems from Rebels, and that was original. So I'll like give it that like at least this felt like original ish. So that was kind of I think that was the best thing about it, that it wasn't like connected to everything you've seen before, but still I would say it gears towards kids.
The main character.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I mean, I like the droid in this series.
Well, you can't do R2D2 because the motherfucker will be in subtitles the whole time.
David Tennant plays the droid in this series, and he probably is the best character in the whole show. I was realizing that. Like the droid
from Doctor Who?
Yes, he's definitely, and I mean, you could kind of tell it's him once you know it's him. But
that was a good Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's my favorite Doctor Who
time period.
I like. As far as I know, but I like the other guy.
No.
Well, I like all 3 of those guys. I like that guy.
Was that with Billy Piper, or Billy Piper was a different?
Billy Piper's in
the guy from 28 Days Later.
She's in both. She's with both. She's
in
with
the villain from
Eccleston.
28 Days Later.
His name is Chris Eccleston. I think he is. It's Chris Eccleston, and then I think David Tennant is also Scottish. But then Matt Smith was good too. So it's like I like those 3, and that's. I mean, I don't know the old ones.
Creepy looking. He's got that like Conan O'Brien coif and.
Well, I think he's very fucking good in House of the Dragon. I think that's his.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
he
like his
definitely is. But
heyday.
that is a whole
Doctor Who
other.
though, who's okay in it.
I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it's easier to play a villain than be likable. You know?
Yeah. Oh, and also this whole episode is filled with like spaceship dogfights, and that was kind of like that action I didn't mind seeing. That was kind of cool. Um, but then you see Ahsoka at one point go outside the spaceship and walk on top of it with like a spacesuit that's fitted to her stupid headdress thing. I don't know what. I don't know. Here it is. Here's a picture. She's in this spacesuit thing, and she is on top of the spaceship, like cutting down spaceships with a lightsaber. That was fucking ridiculous. And then also this
Yeah.
episode
I
brings up
mean,
that
how will a
everyone can be a
lightsaber have the length to do that?
I guess it got close enough for her to do it, but it was stupid. Like I thought it was like there was some like it was kind of cool. She like the ship's broken down and she gets on it to like like maybe like if they're gonna shoot at them, they're gonna reflect the the ship shots and shit. So I thought that was like that could have been cool. You should have made it more high stakes. Like I don't know, like I'm thinking like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like whenever he went outside the ship, everyone almost dies when they're outside. So it's maybe kind of play into conflict, but they don't do that. Every Jedi is just perfect, which I think is stupid. Like maybe just make it like hard that if you're gonna go out there that it's gonna be dangerous and I might be
Well,
killed, but it's like nothing. There's no conflict.
the nice thing though
Nothing's gonna
about
happen.
building up Jedi to that level is when they get fucked up, it's that much more impactful.
Yeah, and that was kind of what was cool about certain
Like
things
with
in the
Darth
past
Maul,
with Jedi.
like they built
Yeah,
both those two motherfuckers up to be invincible, and then Darth Maul like cut the motherfucker in half and shit. And
no, yeah, I really do start to realize how George Lucas was pretty original, even with the prequels. Like his stuff is original. It's not like at least he was doing something new, and I don't know. This is all just playing off of what's already been created. But they also reference that everyone can be a Jedi in this series, which is ridiculous. So now being a Jedi really doesn't matter because everyone has the Force. So that was a little weird. And this whole
you show a clip of her cutting through a ship, or
I don't think they'll probably put that on the photos or in the trailers, but yeah, there's that not Maggie Gyllenhaal girl, but looks like her. Here's some cosplay. Yeah, they're not
it
going to
looks
show
like
that.
a pretty bad wig.
Yeah, there's a lot of like bad wigs and bad outfits. Like you'd think they'd have that down a little better. Here's David Tennant's robot character, by the way.
Okay.
Also it's like filled with references, and in the end, I didn't like it because I think they're just trying to erase old Star Wars. I think that's their plan. But yeah, I'll go through some spoilers on this shit. It starts off with Sabine training with Ahsoka. And here's again a reference to the first movie, The New Hope. If you're gonna Star Wars, New Hope, I don't know. It depends where you were born. To me, it was always New Hope. I wasn't born in the '70s, so back then I think they just knew it as Star Wars because that was the only one that was planned to happen. But I know it as a New Hope. She's got the blaster helmet on, and they got that little robot that's shooting at her, just like Luke did in the first movie. She even says when she puts it on, "How am I supposed to see?" So she even says the same quote that Luke said in that first movie. Like, kind of bothered me a little bit. I was like,
Okay, so it's a callback.
it's a callback, but it almost feels like an erase back. I think they don't want people to go watch old Star Wars. They just want to
An
like,
erase
well, we
back.
can take it. Yeah, I think they're just trying to erase what's there. That's the vibe I get. Then then it cuts to Elizabeth Winstead talking to a council saying that Thrawn is coming back, but then here's like a trope. They don't believe her. Yeah, isn't that like I feel like it's a trope where like someone tells these elders or this, and then they don't believe it, and they're like, no, that can't happen. But it's like I feel like I've seen that in a million things. I can't give you an example of other things, but like I feel like I've seen it a dozen times.
Well, a million things and you don't have any single example. Hard to make
I
a good
couldn't
argument.
come up with a example, but I feel like it's been done a lot. It's always in like fantasy stuff where like there's a prophecy, but they're like that can't never happen. This
It's
will
like a
never. I think it kind
MacGuffin,
of happens in Star Wars.
right?
I think it
Isn't
happens.
that sort of
What's
like a
that?
MacGuffin?
Yeah, it's like kind of that. And then after that little council thing, we see that Hera has a son. And going back to the Rebels, there is Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character's name is Kanan, and he has like a romantic thing with this cartoon character. This is a cartoon love thing. So I guess he had sex with her, and there's a baby. And his name is Jason, but it's spelled Jacen, which is another reference to the extended universe of Star Wars that they just try to erase. In the extended universe of Star Wars, Han and Leia, after the original movies, they have a kid called Jason, spelled Jacen, and he is a Jedi, and so a lot of the stories follow him. So I kind of think this is a big reference to that. Here's like another character that's gonna be out of the EU, but they're not gonna really use it. So there's that. And then there's later on this dogfight spaceship battle, which was pretty good, but again, it feels completely like New Hope. There's even a part where Sabine shoots a fighter down and says, "I got one," and then cheers, which is exactly what Luke did in New Hope. And then, but again, Han Solo and Luke was a much better. Like that scene plays out so much better between Ahsoka and Sabine. Like there's just not the chemistry. There's not the acting skills, the directing, the writing. It's just not there.
It'd be cool if they had a sequence. If you want to talk about like callbacks to the the whole Lizzo thing, where maybe they go to like some alien bar and there's a bunch of strippers shooting lasers out of their pussies, and the dancers have to catch in their mouths.
Yeah, they should call back to Lizzo's terrible moments. I mean, Lizzo is in the Star Wars universe. You know that, right? She's
no, who's she in there? You have a clip?
She was in Mandalorian with Jack Black as like Jack Black and her were married as this fucking some planet that the Mandalorian goes to, and she's in it. Lizzo is officially in Star Wars canon.
Was that shit ain't happening?
Well, yeah, not the pussy stuff. That's none of that. But so they're in that dogfight and they eventually get shot, and then they kind of like, which was kind of cool. That's where she gets out on the spaceship and was doing that stupid shit with the helmet that's fitted to her fucking ear headdress thing. Let me see. Like I don't know what it is.
She cuts the ship in half.
Yeah, she cuts a couple ships in half that go past her. I think there's 2 that happen. But yeah, bonus hole lasers.
Remember how fucking hyped up that Gravity movie got with Sandra Bullock? That shit sucked. I watched that fucking shit.
Yeah, that definitely got hyped up. It was okay. I don't know.
I didn't get the fucking hype behind it. It's just
I mean, I don't think the hype behind it makes sense, but I kind of enjoyed that movie. I like that was doing those remember that was doing that whole like gimmick of not many cuts. It was like almost felt like no cuts at all.
Birdman, where it was a single.
That was pre-Birdman though.
Oh, okay. So I guess he really.
But it's not something. It's not something that's new. Like, I mean, go back to. I'm sure this was done in the 30s.
No, it's not new. There's
nothing new
from that. Fucking what's that really fat guy who did Citizen Kane?
Orson Welles.
Yeah, there's the movie with Orson Welles and Charlton Heston and shit when the car gets blown up, where it's like a tracking shot for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's honestly the truth is, yeah, and you know what? And also, I'll say this: I think that's also what was good about George Lucas was, I think he had a big respect for old. I mean, it's the same thing with Steven Spielberg. George Lucas had a big respect for the old shows like Flash Gordon and things that came before him.
Like Steven Spielberg, it's just, and I never realized it until seeing what's that movie with like based on his life.
I didn't see that. You saw that. I never saw that movie.
Yeah, I saw it, but I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Yeah.
But it made me realize how
Jewish people or something.
Westerns, and I never thought about that before.
Oh yeah. Well, even again, Star Wars has a Western vibe. Like Han Solo is like.
No, I know. Yeah, definitely. Like it made me realize like
in a bar shooting somebody, like it's a fucking cowboy.
All these like neo action movies too, like Die Hard and all that kind of shit, and Predator and all. They're all westerns. They're just mutated.
And then like with Spielberg, there's these adventure movies from like the 30s and 40s that are essentially fucking Indiana Jones. I mean, go watch a movie called Gunga Din. You could search this up. Gunga Din.
Wasn't that like a TV show though?
No, it's a movie, but it's if you watch Gunga Din and you're like, don't understand that this is pretty much exactly what Temple of Doom is, then you're like retarded. They even have the
No, they
Indian
have the whole
thuggy.
sequence of him being on the fucking wheel thing or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but also just even like the whole Indian, like remember like that cult, the Indian cult that is in the movie Gunga Din. Like that same Indian cult is in there. So like, like just the fact that they were going off of old Hollywood with stuff that worked before was also smart. And I feel like, Disney now they want to forget about anything before it. They want to think they're the first to do everything, but no, they're fucking not. But then also like that spaceship is broken down and they're kind of like out of radar, like within this it's this big ring thing that's obviously going to open a portal. That's like you could tell even before they find out in this that's what it's going to do, but they're out of range because they're like stuck onto it, which again is a callback to Empire Strikes Back where Han is like trying to get away from the Star Destroyer, so he parks like on it, under it, and then they can't see him. So again, another big reference to that.
What's the
Then
Star
there's
Destroyer?
remember that big triangle ship in the Star Wars? The Empire has it. It's like a gigantic triangle. Like that's their big like tank cruiser things. Not like a Death Star, but their big
Tree Death
triangle
Star?
cruiser. Well, it's like it's not as big as a Death Star, but it's like their big. It's like their big cruise ship kind of like ships, as opposed to like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Millennium
it looks
Falcon.
like a
You know what I
big
mean? You know what I mean? The whole movie. I mean, what's it? That one movie,
Those are
Spaceballs, makes
cutouts,
fun
by
of
the
it.
way, aren't they?
Oh no, they're models. They're models.
No, I thought some of them were cutouts that were like drawn and they got like a
Probably.
blade and just drag like a piece of paper across a background that was either painted or
There's some of that, but a lot of it is cutouts. And there was I would say there's something on Disney Plus that is good. It's going through like the early days of ILM, and it's fucking cool. It's an awesome documentary series, and it's really fucking cool. Phil Tippett is awesome. Um, Fucking great stop motion guy. Did all the awesome stop motion for all the early Star Wars. Did the RoboCop, that like little robot thing that like kills everyone in the boardroom. He's done a lot of awesome stop
I love
animation.
RoboCop, man. That movie's
Yeah, RoboCop's so good. But yeah,
even
that's
the other
also
ones.
that's
Like
it.
I don't
That's
mind
another
the
thing
second
too.
one with the like weird drug dealer Messiah guy and all that. I don't know. It's a good franchise.
Yeah,
And,
but that
and unfortunately the reboot probably sucked. I didn't see it, but it couldn't have been good.
it's not good. Not good. I never saw it, but I could just say it's not good. But
I can only
one thing I was
imagine.
thinking with like that ILM documentary is just this is ED 209. Yeah, that's the robot. Yeah, that the whole, especially when it falls down the stairs too, is ridiculous too and awesome. It looks really good. But just also I think you can't capture lightning in a bottle, and the old Star Wars had this so many things going for it. It's also not just George Lucas. It's like what I'm saying. It's like there was this whole team of creative people that came together to change the industry of effects. That is a big part of why it was good. Not just one
Jurassic
guy.
Park too. Like Jurassic Park's effects still hold up pretty
Well, yeah.
well.
And actually, speaking of that, with Phil Tippett, everything was going to at one point be stop motion, and I've seen the original Raptors in the stop motion, and it's probably the cleanest stop motion I've ever seen. It's not as like jerky, even like Ed 209 is kind of jerky when he's falling down the stairs, but still like it wasn't there. So I'm glad they didn't use the stop motion, but it was probably one of the better stop motions I've ever seen. Is like the test footage for the Raptors, but also all the sequences that were used in the
What
movie.
about the acid sprayer versus Newman?
That's a animatronic. They went with animatronics and a mix of CG for Jurassic Park instead of doing stop motion. So I don't think there's any stop motion in the whole thing.
I don't know. I love when practical effects get blended really well with a little bit of CGI.
Yeah, I agree.
That's like a good
Yeah,
mix
even
because the lighting is not that different from one to the other if you can blend it well.
Yeah, and even like The Force Awakens, I remember I saw documentaries on it. They did that actually pretty well. They tried to do that hard where they tried to do, and I think J.J. Abrams started off well, but it didn't end well, but started off trying to stay true to that idea of let's shoot things in locations. Let's not just put everyone behind a green screen. Let's have more puppets, more practical things on camera, less CG. But then
Was
after that, it
Lost
all fucking
what
changed.
launched his career, or did he have something other than that
I think it was Alias, which would have been the first thing he got big for.
with Jennifer Garner?
Yeah, I would say Alias first.
That was
And
the
then
TV show, wasn't it?
yeah, he was TV for a while. He was like TV guy for a long time. Okay, yeah. Back to Ahsoka. Oh yeah. So then, like I said, they get attached to the fucking thing, but then their power's out, so she's on top of the thing. And that was actually kind of good. Again, the hyperdrive is out, which is again another reference to Empire Strikes Back, where pretty much the whole story with Han Solo and Leia and everyone on the Millennium Falcon is just dealing with the hyperdrive being out. Like so they're going to that moon, which turns out to have a fucking slug thing that they're inside. It's like they're just trying to fix it the whole time. That was kind of their main plot point. That's kind of played into here a little bit. And then, that's actually interesting when there's some conflict where you can't use your getaway card. So then they have to go escape, and then there's an escape chase scene kind of thing. And then these space whales show up, and the space whales are from Rebels. So it is something that's been seen before. And they're going in and out these space whales, I kind of like that concept. There's these animals that exist in deep space. I think that's kind of cool. To me, I like that. I have no problem with that. Sounds ridiculous, but I kind of like it. They escape through a crack in between these space whales and go to this forest planet and land. Which again, a forest planet reminds me of Dagobah. So another Empire Strikes Back reference right there. And then basically that's where the whole show ends. It's like they're just there, and then like, oh, we lost them, and that's pretty much where the show ends. So it was kind of ended on a very no cliffhanger, no this, just kind of end the fucking episode. Like at least give a cliffhanger. I really don't think Star Wars or Disney, maybe just Disney. I don't think they know how to make TV. Like Netflix knows how to make TV. Star Wars, Disney does not. But overall, it was okay. It was only 32 minutes without the credits, so it wasn't a long thing. I kind of like that. Here's some Easter eggs I saw. Jason Sandula again. They're talking about here. A reference to Heir to the Empire series, which is in the extended universe, which Disney claims when they bought it. They're like, we're not gonna do any extended universe. Now they're trickling in all the stuff that people actually used to like. Yeah, and then Sabine survived the lightsaber getting stabbed, which that's also terrible. Like there used to be serious implications of a lightsaber. Going back to the original series, we had Luke getting his hand cut off. I think Darth Vader getting his hand cut off. And then even the prequels, we've had Qui-Gon Jinn getting killed when he got stabbed. We'd have Darth Maul getting his whole body cut off. We've had Anakin getting his 2 legs and arm cut off. Like there were serious implications of a lightsaber. Now it doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's in the future of Star Wars, where now there's better medical stuff, but it's not been explained. But also, it's like that first episode ended with her getting stabbed, and then the next episode starts off with her being okay. Like maybe you should have had something that comes in between where you're wondering if she's okay or something. It was like a paper cut. Yeah, and it's Disney lightsaber. And then I also heard this, and it makes me think if it's too religious for Disney, but apparently no Disney show has said "May the Force be with you," which was a common staple in everything we've seen before. It might be too religious for Disney, but it's not been uttered in any Disney show. I'm sure it's been said in the sequel series with Rey. I'm pretty sure it was. Oh yeah, and then we have Mon Mothma that shows up on the council. I don't think anyone cares about Mon Mothma. Oh yeah, and I was wondering this too. There was some weird speech being taught during her training sequence. I was like, is this a reference to something? And then I guess it is. But yeah, I like that whole scene where she was doing her training. It wasn't bad. It was definitely a rip off. But I like the music. It had this build up Japanese music vibe to it, which is that's pretty cool. I didn't mind that. I was like, this is at least kind of cinematic, and I like the music that they're doing. But yeah, the Force is female. This is very true. The Force is female. Everything's female these days, all right? That's our, the Force is female for sure. That's what you have to realize. I have to get that T-shirt too. I know there's a T-shirt out there. Force is female T-shirt. Sounds cool. But yeah, overall, it's all right. Like, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It's not the best thing in the world, not the worst thing in the world. Like there's way worse out there. I saw She-Hulk, so I've watched She-Hulk. I've seen way worse things. But at least She-Hulk was like so bad it was kind of funny, and you're like almost like, what the fuck's going on? This is like obviously terrible. So I almost kind of you have the shirt that says I'm Knuff. Ken enough, or I don't know how they said it, but that is a good shirt, man. I've seen it on the internet. I've seen that on the internet. But hey, overall, this is my thoughts about Ahsoka.